It also is jarring, I think, for the senators to finally have a different generation to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. The age difference of the senators and the nominees is quite stark and noticeable, and the energy level is right there.
Dana Perino highlighting something that I've been paying close attention to. I'm on that old elder millennial side of the generational breakdown here, but seeing people, even JD Vance is like a month younger than me or something like that. We've gone from watching Joe Biden muddle through this presidency to now seeing this cabinet see confirmation hearing after confirmation hearing with people that are don't just look like an entirely different generation. They represent an entirely different generation. And we are just a couple short days away from watching the remaking of America, hopefully back to what it was supposed to be. I'm excited to bring on our next guest, Will Cain. You know him as host of the Will Cain Show here on 97.1 FM Talk from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. But also very exciting to forward the information to you that the Will Cain Show will now debut on Fox News at 3 p.m. Central Time starting January 21st. Will, thank you for the time today. A lot of news going on, and we appreciate you squeezing in some time here for our audience.
You bet, Annie. Glad to be here. Thank you.
So I want to give you the opportunity to reflect a little bit on the cabinet nominees and the confirmation hearings as they've been happening so far. You know some of these people very personally. Your thoughts on Trump's nominees and the hearing process as it has laid out so far?
Well, I was just listening to you coming in, and I guess I haven't really fully internalized how much this is a generational shift in the people that run America. Because at the top we have, again, Donald Trump. And, of course, Trump is 78 years old. But underneath him, the people that he's chosen to lead with him are, a real step down, a real shift, a real change in the generation. I'm Gen X. I heard you say you're an older millennial.
Yeah.
I'm Gen X. We're the forgotten generation. But it's kind of our time as well in a way. But you look across the board. Michael Waltz, probably Gen X like me. Sean Duffy, Gen X like me. Pete Hegseth, an older millennial like you. All across the board, you're looking at a generational shift in who leads America.
I mean, I think that matters, too. We've seen, I was looking through the line of succession just before the show started, and the president pro tem is going to be Chuck Grassley. I had to look that up. I mean, the Republicans have some older folks in there. He's 90, almost 92 this year, I think. Gen X, talk to me a little bit about that. I hear a lot of Gen Xers kind of coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden to say, hey, we're going to actually have a very vocal say in what happens next. Why is it important to have younger leadership?
Because I think you're more in touch with the direction of the future of the country. I'll give you two. So I just saw the news of Vivek Ramaswamy is going to run for governor of Ohio. That is a complete generational shift. When you look, and Ron DeSantis is in the same range, so in that older millennial Gen X range. So we're just seeing the turnover. Pete Hegseth. So here's a great example. So Pete, even visually looks different than the people who have run the Department of Defense for really most of the past half century, right?
Yes.
But it's not just like, oh, you look young. Pete has fought the last two wars that America's fought, Iraq and Afghanistan. He's in touch with the issues that have confronted war fighters for the past 2 decades. And he's therefore more in touch with the issues that are more immediate in the direction of America. And I think it's good. It's time. It's time for a fresh set of voices.
We're speaking with Will Cain, host of the Will Cain Show on 97.1 FM Talk, starting at 8 p.m. each night, but also going to be on Fox News. We get off the air here at 3 p.m., and you're going to be taking it up on the Fox News channel at 3 p.m. starting January 21st, which is very exciting. I'm glad you mentioned that about Pete Hegseth because, Will, I was a senior in high school when 9/11 happened, and the way I often phrase that, I was as old as you can be as a kid and as young as you can be as an adult, and seeing something like that happen when you understand the gravity of it, but you are still clinging to what little bit of youth you have left. I always remind people when there was trashing of the millennials for a long time, that those millennials are the ones who signed up to fight with the understanding of what terrorism was post 9/11 attacks. And Pete Hegseth, man, watching him champion these people who I have personally in my life who have fought in Afghanistan, fought in the Middle East, and gone back again and again and again, and then watched what Joe Biden did to pull out there. It is good to see him restore the integrity to the military members to fight and say war fighter, because that's what these people are. How quickly will you see his implementation of what he wants to do as the Secretary of Defense? How quickly will the military reflect his goal for them?
I think it already has started. I think it started with his nomination. You're seeing recruitment numbers already go up. The United States military, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, they've all declined or not been able to achieve their recruiting numbers for years upon years upon years, including, by the way, things they're not capable of doing is hitting audits years upon years upon years. We already know that recruiting numbers have spiked with Pete coming in. I've known Pete a long time, like a decade, and I sat next to him for 5 years on the couch at Fox and Friends. And look, I mean, he's my friend, and I own that bias, but I try to be a self-aware person, and I don't know. I don't feel weird saying this about another man or one of my friends. Like he inspires me in that when I look back on my life, it's one of the regrets of my life that I didn't serve the United States military. And if he makes me feel that way, imagine how many other people younger and still in the age demographic to serve he can inspire to feel that way while they can still do that. And I think that they will. And then beyond that, I think he's going to cut out the DEI woke. He's going to make it meritorious from day one. The thing about it is, like, why he hit a home run, Annie? He hit a home run, right? Grand slam in that hearing.
Yes.
And why is because he knows what he believes. Like, he knows it. It's not rote. It's not memorization. It's not like a script. He knows it. And he knows the focus of the United States military. And that means he will be quickly capable of focusing the United States military on being lethal and winning wars.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing him saying at one point during his confirmation hearing that the purpose is to deter war when we can and to win wars when we can't. And Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearing on the whole, he kept saying things that just my gut reaction was, oh, we don't talk like that anymore. And then he just goes full-fledged into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, talk more like this. We need more of this. The culture shift, it really is moving through Pete Hegseth and his commitment to Donald Trump's America First mentality.
I think it's funny that you said, ooh, we don't talk like this anymore. And you're right, though, because, I don't know, politicians, and you would include the Secretary of Defense as a politician, they're used to word salads. They play defense. They run afraid. Like, let me make sure I don't say anything that's going to turn you off or lose a vote or whatever it may be. Instead of speaking clearly and authoritatively with, like, this is my vision, this is who I am, and articulate that so strongly. And you're right. Like, it is like, ooh, we don't hear that very often. How awesome it is when we do hear it.
Yeah, and I'm just gearing up for 4 more years of America First with zero fear. No trembling in the voice whatsoever. Pete Hegseth has been a wonderful example of that. Before we let you go, we appreciate your time today. Will Cain with us right now. Talk to us about we're here Central Time, so it'll be a 3 p.m. Central Time for the majority of our listeners. What's the Will Cain Show on Fox News Channel going to look like for viewers?
It's going to be 3 p.m. for me as well, Annie, because the show's going to be based out of Dallas, Texas,
Perfect.
Where I am from, where I live. Yeah. And that's, of course, in part because that's me and who I am. And I'm so excited, by the way, so grateful that Fox has said, we want to do the Will Cain Show, because they've said, we want you to do you, who you are. And I have one currency in this world, and that includes professionally, and that's authenticity. I just have to be real. I have to be who I am. And I it's what I value when I see it in other people as well. Like, if we can start with real, then we can get to the truth. So it's a process. This show is a truth-seeking process. It'll be casual and professional. It'll be immediate and news-breaking, but it will be deep and analytical. It'll be fun, but it will also be serious when it needs to be. I want to have voices in that disagree with me, because I believe that finding the truth is a process. I'm not Walter Cronkite. I don't believe in the idea that you sit behind a desk and now that you have a tie on and a microphone, you're the voice of God. But I know what I believe strongly, and I'm going to share that. And through that entire process, I hope that we can be something that is a breath of fresh air in the media, which is an authentic voice seeking the truth.
Well, we're excited to take that in, Will Cain, and for you to have been a part of the 97.1 family here at 8 p.m. on our station. And so congratulations to you. We will be tuning in for sure. And thank you for some time today on a Friday afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye. Will Cain of The Will Cain Show, debuting on Fox News Channel January 21st, the day after the inauguration day